You sit at the kitchen table, the light above casting a warm pool on unpaid bills and a half-drunk cup of coffee. Outside, the neighborhood is quiet. Inside, something else is louder, an invisible tug-of-war between two parts of you. One voice remembers the thrill of possibility, the clear-headed plans you once made, the other whispers fatigue, doubt, the polite resignation of someone who's tried before and learned how to lower expectations. I want you to notice both voices without judgment. That's where the journey begins. Imagine me in the doorway, not as a stranger but as a seasoned companion who has walked this ridge many times. I don't promise shortcuts or magic, I point to patterns. I ask you a plain question: if your life were a house, where are the beams misaligned? You look around and see contradictions, a confident resume and recurring worry about money, generous impulses shadowed by scarcity scripts learned long ago, bold ideas that stall because a small inner critic rehearses worst-case scenarios. Hear those contradictions like characters in a story, each with their own motive, each holding part of your truth. We will follow the hero's journey together, and your first step is recognition. Let me tell you about Maria, 52, who came to me with a successful business and a bank balance that refused to grow. She described 2 mornings, one where she opened her laptop with purpose, another where she closed it feeling she'd done something wrong. When we named those mornings, expectation and doubt, she began to see how energy divided her. Naming is the first alignment. Now, I want you to feel the weight of that division in your chest and at the same time imagine the quiet clarity that comes when those parts align. This isn't about ignoring fear, it's about harmonizing it with an inner authority that expects abundance and takes steady action. Later, I'll lead you through a simple exercise to map those contradictions and shift them into coherence. For now, breathe and ask yourself, what feels most misaligned in your financial life? If that question lands, tap the like, leave a comment about what surfaced, and stay with me, because the next step will show exactly how those hidden contradictions begin to clear. You sit at the kitchen table, late light pooling on receipts and a laptop screen that feels louder than the clock. I lean forward, not with judgment but with the calm of someone who has watched this loop before, the part of you that plans budgets like a general, and the part that whispers, what if it all falls apart? That whisper is a contradiction wearing the voice of caution, and it fractures your energy, half expecting abundance, half braced for scarcity. You can almost see the tug-of-war, the tidy spreadsheet opposed by an old, sticky belief learned at your parents' table, a childhood story that money must be earned through sacrifice, never through ease. Tell me what you want the money to do, I say. You list practical things: security, freedom to travel, less worry. Then I ask the deeper question, what would having those things mean about you? Your shoulders drop. The answer is tangled in identity: safe means worthy, wealthy feels risky, and worthy feels unearned. That is the hidden contradiction. When belief, emotion, and action are misaligned, energy goes sideways. You show up to make payments but not to expect an outcome. You act frantically but carry a quiet doubt that undermines follow-through. We begin to recalibrate. First, clear expectation: choose a specific financial milestone, a number and a date, crisp enough to aim at, kind enough to be believable. Next, adjust the inner weather, practice feeling into that outcome for 5 minutes a day. What does calm confidence feel like in your body? Name the sensation. Finally, match action to that feeling. Replace scattered hustling with 3 steady habits that honor the expectation: a revenue call, a weekly review, a small risk taken with intention. I guide you through one short dialogue exercise. Speak to your doubt as if it were an old friend. I hear you. Thank you for protecting me. I'm choosing another way now. That simple exchange shifts tension into cooperation. In the days that follow, opportunities stop arriving as miracles and begin as logical responses: an email that fits your newly clear ask, a collaboration that recognizes your steadiness. The tide changes because your current does. If anything here resonates, tell me in the comments, what feels most misaligned in your financial life? Lean into that answer, because next, we'll take those recalibrations and turn them into a step-by-step practice you can do this week, so your breakthrough has someplace to land. You sit at the kitchen table with a stack of bills and a half-drunk cup of coffee, the late afternoon light cutting across the worn surface like an honest question. There are voices in your head, one says you deserve this, that you built a life from effort and care, another whispers that money slips through fingers meant for other things, that luck was a closed door long ago. I watch you there, not as judge but as steady presence, and I ask the simple, quiet question that shifts everything: where in you do those voices disagree? You remember the scene from years back, the promotion you declined because now isn't the right time, the saving plan abandoned when family needs felt more urgent, the dream project shelved for practicality. In the small, honest exchange between us you speak aloud, I want more, but I'm afraid of being greedy, and I mirror it back. That contradiction is the snag. It isn't the market that stalled, it's the divided self. The hero in the story is not defeated by lack of options but by lack of alignment. We walk through the house of your beliefs room by room. In the living room sits expectation, clear, measured, what you want, down to dates and amounts. In the study lives emotion, fear, shame, hope, and they don't speak the same language. When expectation is vague, emotion fills the silence with old stories. You and I sit at the window, and I show you how to give expectation a voice, concrete numbers, dates, and an image you can return to. Then we practice giving emotion permission to be truthful without sabotaging the plan, a ritual of acknowledgement that transforms panic into fuel. A quiet scene unfolds where you rehearse a different kind of action, a calm call to a financial advisor, a single line item shifted in the monthly budget, a 5-minute daily visualization crafted like a brief compass. These are small, deliberate acts aligned with the clarified expectation. You can feel the energy change, less scatter, more direction, like the first notes of a melody finding harmony. If this resonates, like and tell me what feels misaligned for you, share one small contradiction you hear inside. We pause there, the sun lower now, and the next step waits, mapping the exact actions that make belief and feeling move together. In the next moment, we take those actions and watch momentum begin to answer. You and I sit across from each other in a small room where morning light slices through blinds, dust motes suspended like tiny coins. You cradle a coffee mug, shoulders tense, eyes skimming a stack of unpaid invoices on the table. I watch you for a beat, not to judge, but to listen to the story that lives in the way you fold your hands over the cup. Then I ask the gentle question I ask every seeker: what are you telling yourself about money right now? You breathe out a string of phrases: I work too hard. I don't deserve this. I'm always one step behind. Each phrase lands on the table like a pebble. I ask you to pick up 3 pebbles and name them. You do: scarcity, unworthiness, fear of success. We spread them out and map the contradictions. You want abundance yet you hide every financial dream in the closet. You expect opportunity but you budget as if the world is closing in. You call yourself practical while secretly hoping to be more. The room changes when we begin to shift the story. I show you a simple exercise: turn each contradiction into a clear expectation and a tiny, aligned action. Scarcity becomes: my resources expand with intention, anchored by a daily habit, set aside 1% of every deposit. Unworthiness becomes: I am allowed to receive, practiced each morning with a 5-minute mirror affirmation and a posture that opens your chest. Fear of success becomes: I will steward growth, met with a weekly 30-minute planning ritual where you track one small step toward income growth. You roll your shoulders, surprised at the relief. We rehearse the language, the breath, the posture. I ask: what would a confident choice look like this week? You name a call to a potential client, a price increase on a service, a conversation with a loved one about money. You do it. The call is short. The client says yes. You make one small adjustment to your budget and, that evening, you notice an extra entry in your account. Not a windfall, just evidence that alignment moves things. This is the work of recalibration, thought, feeling, and action converging. It doesn't erase fear, but it gives fear a role to play rather than the lead. What feels misaligned in your financial life right now? If this spoke to you, stay with me and subscribe so we can keep doing this together. In the next step, we'll build a daily ritual that cements these shifts into your identity and opens the path for momentum to multiply. The late afternoon light slants through the blinds, painting the kitchen table in warm gold. Papers are spread like a small battlefield: bank statements, invoices, a sticky note that reads someday. You sit across from me, shoulders still carrying years of trying harder. I don't offer magic, I place a simple map on the table. Tell me the clear number, I say, and you fumble at first, then name it, specific, not vague. The air shifts. Naming it is the first alignment, thought meets a precise expectation. We move slowly through the next steps as if tuning an instrument. I ask you to describe, not just imagine, what it feels like to have that number in your life, where the relief sits in your chest, how your calendar looks, what conversations change. You do it aloud, and the emotion follows the thought. That feeling is the fuel. Belief without feeling is like a key without teeth, I tell you. You need both to open the lock. Then we translate feeling into action that is both bold and believable. Not grand leaps, but micro-commitments you can keep, one clear offer to send today, one price adjustment, one automated transfer, one 5-minute intention ritual each morning. We anchor each action with a why that touches your identity, why abundance matters beyond numbers, freedom to care for family, to create without fear, to be generous. When your actions echo that why, confidence grows not from pressure but from integrity. There's a scene where you take your first small step, an email sent with a new rate, a deposit scheduled that you felt anxious about until you remembered the feeling of sufficiency. You tense as you hit send, then relax when the ripple begins, a client reply, a confirmed appointment, a balance inching up. Momentum doesn't arrive as thunder, it arrives as a series of weather changes that tilt the ecosystem in your favor. You learn to notice contradictions, an inner voice saying I don't deserve this while your calendar and actions say otherwise, and to correct them with gentle persistence. Alignment isn't perfection, it's course correction over time. If this landed for you, a small gesture helps others find it. What feels most misaligned in your financial life right now? Keep this question with you. In the next step, we'll meet the hidden belief that quietly contradicts your new actions and dismantle it so your momentum can keep growing. The light in the kitchen is thin and forgiving, the kind that catches dust motes and turns them into constellations. You sit across from me at an old wooden table, a notebook open, a mug cooling between your palms. Outside, the city is waking, mail trucks, distant footsteps, but the real movement is here, under your ribs. You tell me, low and honest, I want more, but something holds me back. I lean forward and, quietly, I name what you already know, the demand of scarcity, the whisper that says you're not ready, the polite doubt that has learned to dress like realism. Show me, I say, and you fold back the pages. We trace the contradictions like fingerprints, big dreams written beside small expectations, bold affirmations spoken with hesitant gestures, plans that end at the edge of comfort. I refuse grand solutions. Instead, I hand you 3 practical shifts. First, sharpen the expectation, not vague abundance, but a clear figure, a date, an image of a day when money serves you. Say it aloud. Watch your breath change. Clarity is a lever that moves unseen energy. Second, align the feeling. We close our eyes. I ask you to remember a moment you felt secure, paycheck on time, laughter without calculation, and we let that memory flood your chest. If you could carry that feeling into your money decisions, I ask, what would you do differently? Tears come sometimes, other times, a steady, small smile. This is not pretend, it is training the nervous system to expect support. Third, structure your action like a garden, predictable, tender, repeatable. You commit to 3 micro steps, an easy invoice follow-up, a 10-minute clarity audit, a tiny investment of time toward a new skill. We practice one now. You pick up the phone, your voice sounds different, cleaner. The rope in your chest loosens. A neighbor, an ally, knocks and brings biscotti. She reminds you that resources circulate. You learn to ask for help without shame. We mark small wins in the notebook, each check becomes a drumbeat of proof. When doubt returns, you read the list aloud. If this scene lands with you, press like so others can find it, and tell me, what feels most misaligned in your financial life? Stay with me, the next step takes these new patterns into the world and shows how to keep momentum when resistance arrives. You follow me into a quiet room at the back of the house, sunlight slanting across a worn table where a cup of coffee steams. The air holds the small clutter of life, receipts, a half-filled planner, a postcard from a trip you promised yourself years ago. I sit across from you and, softly, ask what keeps you awake about money. You name the obvious: bills, responsibilities, dreams deferred. Then you name the quieter thing, the inner voice that says, I shouldn't want this, or I don't deserve that. I lean forward, and the room tightens around that admission, as if finally saying it aloud reroutes its energy. Imagine your beliefs are a compass, I say. They point you, but if the needle is bent by fear, your steps head the wrong way. You nod, hands folded, and I hand you a small exercise, 2 sentences to say aloud, one that sets clear expectation, one that reclaims feeling. You repeat after me, clumsy at first, until the words settle. I am open to receive financial growth, and I act as if abundance is already part of my life. Your voice steadies. The shift isn't a miracle, it's alignment, the compass repairing itself. We walk through practical calibrations. Not spreadsheets of austerity, but simple strokes that honor the new bearing, a daily ledger you carry like a small compass, a 5-minute morning scene where you feel the success you plan to create, a tiny, brave financial action, a call you delay, an offer you finalize, a price you raise. I watch you practice making that call, your throat tightening, then loosening as you choose confident words. Each action confirms the expectation, each steady feeling fortifies the belief. Outside, a neighbor's laughter cuts through the afternoon. It feels ordinary, and that's the point. Alignment is mundane, not theatrical. Your transformation grows in these small, consistent acts until opportunity no longer misses you. It recognizes the vibration you've set. If something in this scene landed for you, a gentle like helps others find it. What feels misaligned in your financial life? Share below in the comments. Your words create clarity. Stay with me. Next we'll trace how those first aligned steps attract a measurable shift and how to protect the momentum when old doubts come knocking. The morning light comes through the kitchen window like a patient ally. You sit at the table with a cup of coffee gone lukewarm, the spreadsheet open on your laptop and a half-scribbled list of intentions beside it. The inner tug-of-war surfaces again, a hopeful line that reads 6-figure offer beside a quieter margin note that says, don't get carried away. I lean forward, voice low but steady, as if speaking to an old friend. Tell me the smallest action you can take today that would prove to your nervous parts that this is real, I say. You look up, surprised by how simple the question sounds. You name it, a single email, a reworked invoice, a 10-minute call, then you commit. We walk through the room where memories of careful saving and tight chances live. The books on the shelf are proof of the work you've done. But now, alignment demands not more effort but a recalibration, your belief, your feeling, and your behavior moving together. When your inner dialogue matches your outer steps, the world starts to answer in kind, I remind you. You feel the weight of doubt lessen as you send the email. Later, a ping on your phone is not a miracle but a ripple. Someone replies, curious, open. It is small, and it is momentum. In the days that follow, you begin to test the changes. You set a clear expectation, a specific number, a date, and pair it with an embodied feeling, the calm confidence of someone who knows they are owed prosperity. You practice a 5-minute ritual before work, 2 breaths to drop into gratitude, a sentence declaring what you expect, and a single next step written down. Each action stitches belief and behavior tighter. At a neighborhood coffee shop, you overhear a possibility and turn toward it. On a call, you quote a number that feels true to your value. People respond differently now because you look different, steady, deliberate, unafraid. There are setbacks, a client delays, an old worry resurfaces like fog. You name it aloud, I see you, scarcity, and return to the practice. The point is not perfection but alignment. If this resonates, tap the like button softly so others can find this path. Tell me in the comments, what feels misaligned in your financial life? Stay with this change. Next, we'll translate these small shifts into a roadmap that turns momentum into measurable growth. The morning light slips through half-closed blinds, painting her kitchen table with gold. She sits there, a stack of papers beside her, a budget with honest numbers, a list of small, consistent actions she promised herself, and a fresh sheet where she has written one clear expectation: a new, steady income source that honors my skills and time, within 6 months. She breathes, remembering the guide's steady voice. Alignment isn't magic, he had said. It's agreement, inside you, then outside you. She smiles, the muscles around her eyes loosening for the first time in months. Across the room, he watches quietly, a soft cup of coffee steaming in his hands. What does that expectation feel like? He asks, not as a test but as an invitation. She closes her eyes and answers the way someone answers an old friend: it feels possible. It feels calm. Like a door I can open. The words land. Somewhere between the list on the table and the steady rhythm of her breath, the inner tug-of-war eases. The doubter inside still whispers, but the part of her that has done the work is louder now. They move through the practical shifts together. She scripts a short, honest email to a potential client with decades of experience translated into clear value. She sets a morning 2-minute ritual to feel gratitude for money already present. She places a small, tangible sign of worth on the table, a polished stone she can touch when fear leaks in. Each tiny act matches the clear expectation she wrote: thought, feeling, action. They begin to triangulate instead of pulling apart. Outside, a delivery truck's engine hums. Inside, her phone lights up with a calendar invite from someone she reached out to. A modest ping, but it lands like a bell. She exhales, surprised at how ordinary it feels, and how meaningful. This is just the start, he says, smiling. She nods, understanding the discipline required. Alignment must be kept, not just found. If this moment resonates, tap the like button gently and tell me in the comments what feels most out of alignment in your financial life. Stay with us. In the next scene, that modest invite turns into a test that asks her to trust the new rhythm and step fully into the opportunity waiting on the other side. The room has softened into golden light, and you can feel the change like a warm current moving through the chest, subtle at first, then steady. We sit across from each other, the map of your life unfolded between us, years of effort, the quiet ache of unmet expectations, the hidden yes and no that kept your energy split. I remind you of the single truth we've uncovered: your breakthrough is not blocked, it's waiting for alignment. You inhale, and the knot of doubt loosens just enough for a new possibility to enter. Remember the moments we tracked, the small contradictions that sounded like a whisper: I want abundance, met with but I'm not worthy, the plan held in your head while your habits tugged you back. When you say, I've done the work, why isn't it changing? I answer simply, because the parts of you were not playing the same song. Then we tuned them. We named the belief, felt the fear, rewrote the expectation into something specific and believable: a clear number, a timeline, a feeling attached. So I imagine it, feel it, then act, you ask. Yes, I say. Expect. Feel. Do. Repeat. Out in the world, that sequence looks ordinary: clearer conversations about money, decisive emails, a different calm when opportunities arrive. But inwardly it is transformational. You begin to notice you hesitate less, to make requests without apologizing, to place confident offers on the table. The bank balance becomes a report card, not a verdict. Calls come in. Proposals are read. Little increases compound into momentum. Alignment doesn't erase difficulty, it redirects energy so it meets possibility where it already is. If this landed for you, give this video a gentle like, a small signal that you are choosing this path. Tell me below, what feels misaligned in your financial life right now? I read every answer, and together we'll trace the thread from doubt to deliberate abundance. If you want more practical steps and quiet coaching on the next phase, where we turn those first wins into steady growth, subscribe and come back. The next conversation will go deeper, and your money breakthrough will be waiting.